All right, so in this segment, we are going to look at video servers and how to set up and configure a video server. So first things first, we've obviously connected it and named them, so we don't have to go through that. We've covered that in configuration. But we do need to set up the device for the video server. We're going to use a ROS Blackstorm video server as our generic video server device. And so let's get into how we would set up a video server device. So first thing, menu, go into System, next, you will find Device Config. So we're going to add a new device. So we click Add New. This is not done through the serial port. This is done over TCP/IP. So we will go to the first available slot number. And this is just an ID number that we reference internally, allowing you to be able to change devices and tie them together. So our server type, so for type of device, scroll the knob to server, then we click next. We can see that it is the AMP device type. We click next, and now we have access to our IP address. So the middle knob will allow you to change what group you're controlling of numbers. So the first group, in my case, is 10, 62, 140, and then my Blackstorm, if I look in dashboard, I know is 111. So just by hovering on its little item, I can see that, that his server channel is 1062, 140, 111. So I'm going to dial in 111. Good. Hit next. Now we get to our options. So Blackstorm is extremely fast. So we actually set a pre-roll of 0 because it will send the play command instantly. We do leave eject clip on. Depending on your server, you may be required to eject the clip before sending the queue clip command. In the case of Blackstorm, they like this. In the case of, say, Amira, you would not send the eject command. And in the case of Expression Clips, which is a different video server that we offer, that also would have it off. And you'll see when we do an Expression Clips video separately exactly why you don't have to use the eject clip. So those are your two options. So we're going to go ahead and click on the knob and confirm those items. So now that we've set up the device, and if we scroll the knob to the right, I can see the device is set up. But nothing has been assigned to that device. So I don't see any sources next to the AMP device. So now we go to the config menu. And inside of the config menu, we click on Input. We scroll until we find our server channel. Hit Next. We're going to click on Device. And we're going to pick that device, AMP, in slot 0 that we just set up. Now, because it's a server, it can have multiple channels. So you'll see that the next light is lit up for this device. I click Next. And here I specify the channel value. Now, a lot of times this is the piece that people miss. And so what ends up happening is all of the channels are controlling channel 1 and not controlling their discrete channel. So he's good. So we're going to click and confirm that. So now I can see that server 1 uses device AMP in slot 0, and you see the channel 1 in brackets. So let's go ahead and take channel 2, click on device, next, value of 2, confirm. So now I see slot 0 device and it's channel 2. So then we're going to do the same thing for channel 3 because this is a 4-channel server, and the exact same thing for channel 4, again setting its value to 4. Clicking and confirming. So if we go back to that device menu now, you'll see that now we've got those sources all listed next to this device. Again, if the device IP was to change, it's very easy for us to come to the menu, see that, yep, these are the 4 channels, and then edit this device entry without having to touch anything else. So now that those devices are connected, every time I select that source by simply pushing a cross point, now the menu will follow along and give me my transport commands like play, queue, loop on, loop off, stop. The thing to note about how the queue works is right now it will send a requeue command. So it will requeue up whatever clip was currently in that channel. Now, it's not just clips though. If you have a playlist loaded, it is going to requeue the entire playlist. And that's where this becomes very powerful. So when we go into our Blackstorm, I've got my 4 channels set up, and you can see here that I actually have playlists loaded in channels 1 and channel 2. So if on channel 2, right, and we'll see in the Blackstorm, when I want to hit this queue command, it's going to re-queue up that entire playlist for us. So now that that playlist is available, right, and so just refreshing the browser, I can see what's loaded into what channel and see the thumbnails for it and currently what clip that is. But you'll notice that this is a playlist that I named A, and channel B channel 2 is currently got a playlist labeled B. So how it works when we build our custom control macros is the key. So when we build our macros, when we look at the panel, we've gone and built a macro that is going to queue A on channel 1. And so when we built it, just by going and looking at it, we see that the first thing that we did was select it on the preset bus. So if we go and look at our custom controls in our custom control GUI, you'll see that that item that I built, the first thing was preset bus server 1 and then queue clip A. So Blackstorm and most servers will report an ID of a playlist just like it would a clip. And so if we send this ID, the system knows that that references a playlist, not a clip. So again, if you tried to name a playlist the same as an existing clip, you're going to have that issue. So you want to make sure that you don't name a playlist the same thing as what you would name a clip. So if we go back to the panel, and we want to build this from scratch. So we're going to delete these events so there's nothing in. So we would hit start recording, and I would have selected this on the preset bus because I want it to put it on preset so I don't have to manually select the server after running that single event. Now what you can see is that here we loaded this playlist. So I had loaded a playlist, so I come into load/edit the playlist, and I say on channel 1 I want to load from my list of playlists. So I said I wanted A. So we clicked OK, and it loaded that playlist into channel 1. So now that it's loaded, on the panel we go to that Q button. And when I hit the Q button, because we're recording a custom control, what it did was it actually asked the server to tell me what is the ID that is currently loaded. And the server replied with A, because that is the name of the playlist. So now our custom control, when we stop recording, it has learned clip A. And again, if we go into our editor, we can see that it learned clip A. The other thing that you could do is just insert a clip name through the GUI controller. So as an example, we'll delete this event. And so here what I did was I said, okay, I want a device, a video server, and I want to send a queue command. So we're going to queue something. We pick the right device, 0, because that's where we set it up, and I want it on a specific channel, in this case, channel 1. And I just typed in that clip ID. And we click Insert, and so it put it in there for us. Now, we've gone ahead and we've built a few more of these, so load B on server 2. Here was the example of hand typing in the full clip name that was to be entered and to do it on channel 3. Same thing with our curling clip that we put into channel 4. And then we went ahead and we built a couple more where now we can clip cue server clip playlist A but on channel 2, and then one for B on channel 1, and even a specific looping background, again by typing in the name, on channel 1. So you can either load it via your media manager into a channel and then go to the panel while recording the macro and just hit the Q button, or hit the Q button inside of dashboard. Or if you know the clip ID, you can just manually type it into the custom control editor and insert it as you go. Okay, so now that we've set up the device and we've assigned it onto our panel, let's look how it works in the multi-viewer. So when we go and we call up that server B, or server 2, playlist B, when I run that custom control, as you can see, it queues it up, puts it into the preset bus for me. Now what's very important right now is to make sure that the roll clip button is lit up. Now you can see that I can't turn it off right now. This is because there is a personality section in the switcher that can define whether or not you allow a user to turn it on and off, or if you want it forced. So to do that, we go Menu, Personality, go into Trans Area, and now instead of forced, I want it set to user controllable. So now I can toggle it on and off. So if we leave this off, when we look at our multi-viewer, we'll see that when we take this to air, nothing happens because that roll clip was off. So now let's enable roll clip. Now when we send that cut command, it sends the play command and perform the cut instantly. And so now it's playing out this playlist that we've set up. And I could call up now our playlist A on server 1 through the custom control. It puts it in a preview, queues it up, and of course, because roll clip is ready, when we transition it, it sends the play command, then performs the transition. So this allows us to have this nice workflow, making it very easy to move back and forth. And because I can turn that roll clip off, when I want to cut back to the other playlist running on channel 2, I cut back, and again, it doesn't send the play command, and I don't have to worry about it. And so I call up, say, that red background on channel 1 right now, queues it up for me, go ahead and transition to it, because maybe I want to drop in, a full page over a nice little graphic. And now when we're going to come out to channel 2, we go ahead and say, okay, load something to say channel 4. So it loads up a curling clip for us, and we're going to come out of that bracket to the curling clip, nice and clean. And of course, out of that, we want to queue up our football clip on channel 3 that we set up, out to our football clip, and then of course, when that's done, back on camera. So as you can see, configuring the server is very easy to do. This is the AMP Media Protocol, so it works with numerous different production servers, not just ROS video servers, Miras, Turbos, K2s, all kinds of products that are out there. Building the custom controls are very simple, and leveraging the commands also pretty straightforward. I hope that you found this useful, and of course, if there is any subjects that you'd like us to cover, please send those requests to switchers@rosvideo.com. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.